My uncle is 86 years old, and he's asked me to write and deliver his eulogy while he's still living. He is the first living person to ask me. I've asked him why me. He said he's seen me do a few now, and I have a really nice way. I don't believe there's any greater compliment than for someone to ask that of you. And I did ask him if there's anything in particular he wanted me to say, and anything we could take notes on together. And he told me he didn't care what I said because he'd be dead. So therefore, he is killing me. Good evening. Day 37 of Turquoise Rising. The first eulogy I gave was my own father's in 2001. And there have been multiple others since. And it's honestly one of the most powerful and empowering and important things I've ever done in my life. It is an honor every single time. Such an important piece of closure when someone who passes and the people who love them look forward to hearing these words for closure. And it's a responsibility of getting the words correct and their story, their spirit, their accomplishments, and their presence. My uncle has a huge family and lots of friends. 7 children, 23 grandchildren, great-grandchildren now, 86 years of him. We started calling him Bionic Bob this year after his cervical spine injury and the rod and the hardware that went into his neck. He's had knee replacements, shoulder replacements, hip replacements. He looked at me in the emergency room on the day of the cervical spine fracture, and he remarked that he only comes to hospitals to have things put inside of him. He's never been stopped by anything in his entire life. And until recently, I would have said the same about myself. But in August of 2024, I was in Connecticut on business. We were opening a new location, and for the launch, I flew in for meetings in person. And I fell down a flight of stairs in the pitch black. I broke my elbow, I broke my wrist, I broke my finger. The left side of my head was completely gashed open, smashed. And I had a traumatic brain injury. An ambulance took me to a trauma center in a neck brace strapped to a backboard. They closed the gash on my head and they put my arm in a full soft cast. And it couldn't get wet. When they released me, I went back to my hotel room alone. And I had soup delivered to the room. And I sat in the bed with a cast on my arm and my head pounding, trying to manage just to get some broth with one hand. And I had such a headache, I needed to take an Advil. I picked up the bottle of water from the nightstand and I couldn't open it. In that moment, sitting in that hotel room by myself with a bottle of water I couldn't open, Advil I couldn't take, I couldn't help myself. I just said out loud, like, this sucks. This really sucks. And underneath that, for the first time, I allowed myself to think I had been refusing to think for over many years, 20 years, whatever it is. Since the accident, it's been all about safety and security for me. I wanted to be 100% safe. I know that if I get seriously hurt, someone is coming and someone will be there. And that I admitted to myself, I'm so tired of acting so brave and in control. And sometimes I would like for someone else to carry some of the weight and say, I have this. I got you. You don't have to worry. I really want to not have to worry. I'm okay with being the strong one and the dependable one and the one in charge some of the time. but I'm really no longer okay with being that all of the time anymore. I want someone to look at me and say, I will take care of this and don't worry about it. And I want to trust innately that they really do have it taken care of. My sister-in-law came and picked me up from the hotel the next morning, and I stayed with my brother and his family for 2 days. And I was in bad shape. I was in no shape to be alone, and I was away from home. And I flew back to Florida. I couldn't get my suitcase up. I couldn't do anything for myself. My aunt had to help me wash my hair. I'll never forget it. A huge section of it on the left side was just matted, thick and dried blood. And my cast couldn't get wet. So I couldn't get in the shower enough to work the blood out. It just wasn't, I couldn't do it. And I was trying to do it with one hand. And it was so disgusting. So gross. 3 months later, I drove back up to Connecticut to stay for the next 6 months for work because the opening was still coming. So here I packed up the car myself, 2 dogs in the dog seat in the front, and drove. Everyone said, don't go straight through. Don't do it, don't go straight through. And the whole way I was telling myself, I'm definitely going straight through, because that was the only way I could see myself make it work. I drove with one hand, because thank goodness it was my left arm that was injured in hand. And when I arrived, the apartment on the other end was empty. The furniture had not arrived yet. And I unpacked that car alone with one arm. I'll tell you something. Something shifted in that hotel room that night by myself. That's the night when I finally said, that's enough. I've carried a lot on the way here, and I want to be protected now. And I'm really working on letting myself be. This is day 37, 90 days live and unfiltered. If you're in your own reinvention, come and walk with little Rico and I, and subscribe below and rise out loud. It's beautiful tonight.